all expecting the Constitutional Court to come out with the decision tomorrow about elections. Those local government elections. Is it going to be October? Is it going to be February? That's tomorrow. But as we know, the closer we get to elections, the more complicated it gets. While the IFP is saying that the IEC, Independent Electoral Commission, should stick to the candidate list deadline for these upcoming local government elections. It made the call after the ANC came out with a request for an extension. Well, the party says the precedent has already been set, with both it and the NFP previously being denied extensions. So it's all going to get quite messy. Is there a favour here for the ANC, or is it a little too late for them to sort out their house? Well, let's speak to Velenkosini Hlabisa, joining us from Hlabisa in KZN from the IFP. Good morning to you, Mr. Hlabisa. Always a pleasure to have you with us. So what it sounds like to me is the ANC are wanting to be treated slightly differently because they couldn't get their list done in time, yet your party got everything done on time without a problem.
Good morning, together with the viewers of eNCA this morning. Very true, the ruling party did not do its work on time and wants to receive a special treatment which will compromise IEC freeness and fairness of the elections. Because it is not for the first time in our country that a political party misses the deadline. It happened to us in 2011, it happened to the NFP in 2016. So now, the laws governing the Chapter 9 institutions in our country should be applied similar to all of us, because the ANC could not say there were glitches at 9 o'clock. The actual closing time was 5 o'clock. And the IEC made an extension of additional 4 hours. Still, the ANC could not submit. They were not ready. They must live with it. The people of South Africa have an opportunity to look at the other menu of political parties that are available to serve them.
I can't help but wonder what is going on with the ANC admin at the moment. We're hearing these stories, aren't we, Mr. Hlabisa, that salaries aren't being paid. Now we're hearing reports that UIF has not been paid either, and now they haven't got their candidate list in on time. Is someone just not paying attention at the ANC? What's your view?
This is very unfortunate that a ruling party that looks after the affairs of the millions of South Africans cannot take care of its domestic issues. It cannot pay its staff. It could not submit the list of candidates, yet it is a bigger party with a capacity of every form as it rules the country. This is a clear reflection that the ruling party is in a bad state. And that is why even our country went into a disastrous situation in July, where we saw a looting spree and destruction of the economic infrastructure at the full view of the ruling party. And the IFP made a call early that deploy the army so that you stop this looting, because the police have failed. They just ignored us until on the last hour. All this reflects the poor state of the party that rules our country. The unemployment is so high, crime is so high. It is time, people of South Africa, vote for the IFP that can bring solutions to clear problems that we see in the ruling party.
Mr. Hlabisa, I've got about a minute left with you, so I'd just like your thoughts on this. As we move the story a little further down the road, viewers can see that the IFP was denied an extension for local government elections back in 2011. What are you going to do if the IEC does grant the African National Congress an extension? There's about a minute left with you, so I leave that answer to you.
Now, in fact, the IEC will not grant them, because the IEC refused them and they decided to go to the Electoral Court. The IEC will be opposing them, and they have indicated they will go to the Constitutional Court. There is a precedent. In 2011, the IFP went to the Constitutional Court the Constitutional Court denied us the extension. So now we are saying the precedents must be maintained. The laws of our country should be applicable to all of us equally. There mustn't be laws for others and different set of laws for the ruling party. That will compromise the elections as well as the law itself, that it had eyes in terms of treating the citizens of our country.
Well, what a pleasure it is to have you with us as well. Going to be very interesting to see what the IEC does as far as the African National Congress. Is now the time to have different rules for different parties, according to Velenkosini Hlabisa from the IFP? No, it's not the time, nor should the IEC do it. Sportsnet.